It's time to make the case for more joy and more play in schools. In our efforts to make schools more rigorous, we've mistakenly made them too serious, and rigor without joy destroys motivation. A drastic number of schools are cutting recess, cutting unstructured play, and just diving into content without looking at the power of joy and playful moments. And so we're going to unpack that, exploring why we should have more play, and I'm going to share with you some of my favorite micro games, little experiences we can infuse into any classroom without a new curriculum or new technology to give students the benefit of positive emotion in ways that motivate them, engage their attention, and build a stronger learning community. I'm Chase, here to help you improve the effectiveness of learning through the effectiveness of teaching. Welcome to Affective Teaching in Action. So let's talk about joy. Let's talk about play. Play is built into human development as a way to explore and experiment safely in a way that allows us to learn and grow. Now, at the root of all of this is one of the most powerful neuromodulators we know, this thing called dopamine. Now, you may have heard of dopamine referred to as the feel-good neurotransmitter, but it is about way more than just feeling good. It is at the core of all human action and motivation. It is what helps us put energy into learning and building habits and experimenting and growing. So it's motivation based. It's also critical to our attention and helping us decide what we attend to and for how long. And it's a building block of our communities. Put simply, we like to approach things that give us hits of positive emotion. We like to avoid things that don't. And so as teachers, if we want students to approach learning and to engage in attention and to motivate for action, we need dopamine. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean that we need to scrap all of our learning and content and just play games all day. What effective teachers do more precisely is embed little moments of play into the flow of learning without having to adopt a new curriculum. They also know how to do this without technology, because technology can be a great space of dopamine, but we have to remember whatever is providing the dopamine is what is going to motivate students. So if you're sick of kids begging to hop on their Chromebooks or play games all day, it's because those games are providing them hits of dopamine. If we want them to engage in learning and conversation and taking risks to share content, then we need to build in dopamine, safe, positive hits of dopamine into the learning content face to face amongst other humans. And micro games are one of the most effective ways. Now, here's what I mean by a micro game. A micro game is a game that is very quick to carry out. Like, we're talking 10 seconds to maybe a minute tops. So we can embed it into a lesson structure without having to sacrifice huge bits of content instruction. Now, later in this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how effective teachers use microgames to be more efficient in the learning. But first, I need to teach you some of my favorite microgames. Some of these are universally known. You're going to know them. Some of them you might not have played or had your students play before. So here to help me demonstrate some of my favorite microgames is my own son, Matic. Number one is a game universally known around the world, good old rock, paper, scissors, Rochambeau. So in this house, we do rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ready? Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. So in the game of Rochambeau, rock beats.
Paper.
Rock beats.
Scissors.
Scissors beats.
Paper
beats.
Rock.
Super simple. If you play rock, paper, scissors all day long, kids are going to get bored because they're going to get desensitized to the dopamine. So I love to have little ways to vary it up. Here's a simple variation, is double-fisted rock, paper, scissors. My right fist is going to battle Maddox's left. My left fist will battle his right. Each one of these is its own separate game. So we're still going to go rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and we're both going to make a throw. You could do two of the same throw, so like two papers, two scissors, but you can vary it up. I could go rock on one hand, scissors on the other hand. Each one is worth 1 point, and you can set a point number of, we're gonna be first to 5 points. Figure out your move ahead of time, because otherwise your brain's gonna get all scrambled. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot! We each have won. I beat his paper on this side, he beat my paper on that side. Another variation is what I call verbal rock, paper, scissors. There is no hand motion to this. We're just gonna look at each other and say rock, paper, scissors, and shout out our throw. Rock, paper, scissors, paper. My paper beat his rock. Another set of classic games are thumb wars. Basic thumb war, battling it out, trying to pin the other person. We can add some variety and do a double-fisted thumb war. Two battles happening at the same time. Now, this is also a fun one to help demonstrate to students. It is really hard to multitask. Another variation is a rock, paper thumb war. Thumb war is happening over here. While the thumb war is happening, we're going rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and we're both battling. And you can see I caught him on the thumb war because we concentrated over here. Next up is a math off. We are going to perform some math operation, usually addition or multiplication. Maddox and I are going to put our hands behind our back. We're going to have a number. We're going to say 3, 2, 1, math off. We're going to show our hands, and whoever can do that math operation the fastest and shout it out wins the event. So 3, 2, 1, math off. 15. Kids might figure it out. They might be a little quick that, like, if they throw a 0 when we're doing multiplication, the answer is automatically 0. If they throw a 1, it's automatically whatever the other person throws. You can set some parameters around that or just let them figure that out. So we had our math off. Now it's time for a laugh off. We are going to attempt to make the other person smile or laugh while keeping a straight face. When I say go, they're going to keep a straight face. Try to make the person laugh by making this sound. Ha 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 ha. Until either someone smiles for real or they run out of air with that first inhale. 3, 2, 1. Ha 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 ha. And I ran out of air, so I lose that one. That is a laugh off. Even if kids don't do well with it, it creates those instant hits of dopamine because we're literally smiling and laughing together. Next game, trap and escape. You're going to hold out your left palm flat. You're going to take your right pointer finger and place it in your partner's palm. And then there's going to be a key word that when that word is said, our goal is to have both our finger escape while trapping their finger at the same time. So this can be simply like ready, set, go, or it can be escape, or it can be academic content, which we'll talk about later. We're going to use the word escape. And ready, escape. And he caught my finger, he escaped. That game is also helpful in circles. So if we have multiple people and not just partners, we would hold out our left palm flat, right pointer finger, and then there would be another person completing the loop. Now this last one takes a little bit of explanation, but it is super fun once your students learn it, and that is a game called Zap. So what's going to happen is we have 3 different moves we can make. The first is Zap, where your hands come out like a zap. Now you only have one opportunity to zap before you need to recharge. So go ahead and put your hands up. This is charge. And then the third throw is block. Go ahead and put your hands to block. If we both zap, nothing happens. If we both block, nothing happens. If we both charge, nothing happens. The only way to win is if you are zapping someone while they're charging. You only have one zap before at some point you need to charge. I usually set it up where there's a little bit of a rhythm to keep the flow. Block, 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 oh, zap, charge. He zapped me while I was charging. He wins that one. Now that you have a surplus of micro games in your back pocket you can bust out at any moment, let's talk about how effective teachers use these strategically. Number one way that effective teachers use micro games is to be more efficient. We can use micro games to help students partner up or decide who goes first. So for example, kids pair up, you have them play a quick game of rock, paper, scissors. If you win, you get to listen first. If you don't win, you have to share first. Or we can use micro games conditionally to help students be more efficient. So, hey, if we can get this room back in order, desks back where they need to go in the next 30 seconds, we will have time to play a quick laugh off or do a math off or play a quick game of Zap. We've put a little bit of positive pressure using this moment of joy and dopamine to help students be more efficient. A second great way to use micro games is to actually reinforce learning content. That game Trap and Escape, you're practicing transitive versus intransitive verbs, and you state a verb, and if it's transitive, kids go. If it's intransitive, they stay. Or you could even give them a statement. If that statement is true about your academic content, they stay. If it's false, then they try to escape. Third great way to use micro games is to reinforce or anchor positive emotions to learning. So to celebrate an achievement. Maybe you've just completed a very difficult learning phase, and so you tell your students, hey, you all were so focused and you tried so hard. Like, let's celebrate our effort that we put into play. We're going to do a couple quick micro games. Or simply using it as an approach emotion of like, hey, y'all showed up today. thank you for attending class when I know you had other choices. Let's celebrate or reward that. If we anchor positive emotions via dopamine to the learning experiences, students are going to want to approach and give effort to those learning experiences a little bit more frequently. Now, a fourth way that we can use microgames to energize focus. When we have a hit of dopamine, it actually increases our alertness. It provides energy. If you have students coming in first period and they're slogging like zombies, or they're feeling a little tired after doing an extensive reading project, implement a quick little microgame to re-energize focus, especially as you're transitioning between different pieces or different phases of learning. It isn't just games for the sake of games, it is helping boost energy that they're going to need for motivation and focus. So there you have it. Microgames are one of the simplest ways to embed play and joy, those little hits of dopamine, so students are motivated to put in some behavior and action, to focus their attention, to approach the learning community with positive emotions. These are far from the only microgames and far from the only uses of microgames that we have in effective teaching, so I would love for you to drop a comment below. What are some of your favorite microgames we didn't discuss? Quick, simple games that students can utilize. What are your favorite ways to use games to support the learning process and not detract from the learning experience? So share your thoughts in the comments below of how you use microgames to add that play and be more effective as a teacher. And if you found this content valuable, of course, hit the like button and subscribe for future explorations of not only the research and the nerdery, but the pragmatic strategies to boost the effectiveness of learning through the effectiveness of teaching. Until next time, I'll see you all soon.